Why is civic engagement important to OCA? It is important because we need to bring a fair and equitable process to serve all people. We want to ensure that our community is fully engaged at every level, whether it's at the city, state, and federal level. That's the only way we can get our voices heard and receive what we need for our community.
Civic engagement is important to our organization because it allows us to advocate for the communities that we represent directly, because it allows us to advocate for resources, policies, decisions to be made that benefit our clients and our communities, but also indirectly by allocating resources, allocating power, allocating just whatever our community needs to the services that support our communities, to the schools that support our communities, specifically for the youth program and the youth of our communities. It allows them to have power over their futures, power over what they want to see happen, and not just for the present day. It allows us to plan for the future and affect the future.
Frequently as we tend to be, bombarded with, messaging around, civic engagement, specifically around, election, seasons and, cycles. Year-round civic engagement especially is, important because, it allows us, not only, stay in tune on, the issues that we as individuals as well as our community, care about, but also, act on them, whether that's, collectively or individually. It could be as simple as, sending a letter or, calling your elected, official, try to have, them, persuaded on an issue, or, taking to the streets directly, whether that's a, protest, a rally, anything of that, nature. Last but not least,
we need to show our voting power with civic engagements, and that means getting voter registrations and getting people out to vote. The election that's going to be important to our Asian community in 2024, particularly, I believe, is the presidential election. It's going to be important because that's like the top political position in the country. And the value of working in a coalition is because there's people who do many different things, and they try different methods in civil engagement. And you can hear about what works and what doesn't in a coalition. A supportive message for our community to vote. I feel that it's a very important year, 2024, and we must vote to show how we feel about our community.
It's how we have a role to say, have a say in our lives. We're going to prepare for every election that we can prepare for, and every election that will affect our community. The value is that we work in partnership with all of our, other Asian organizations, together. Because if we don't do it together, then we can't get it done. Please come out and vote. And if you don't know how to or can't or need help, we're there to help you.
Civic engagement is so important to our organization because it empowers and uplifts our immigrant, low-income, and AAPI communities. We are able to get the needs that we deserve through advocacy, and that's through the power of voting and heading to the polls. We're preparing our community for all levels of our elections, including state, city, as well as federal elections. The value of working coalitions is to better understand the ways that other organizations have engaged with their communities and applied them to our organization and how we've operated and moved towards making our communities more civically engaged. A supportive message for my community would be the fact that it's so important to head to the polls because our needs are at stake, and it's a matter of making sure that we head to the polls and make sure that we voice our needs more than ever during this time, during a critical election.
Through engaging with the community and also picking people, voting for people who represent me, I'm able to have people that represent my issue who are able to kind of push for issues I care about. In terms of which election I'm going to prepare my community for, it's going to be for all the election. We are gearing towards like the Senate election, the Assembly election, as well as the federal and the congressional election. So all of the elections are really important for us. It allows us to build like partnership and a community power. So we're able to kind of share learning experiences with each other. So that's like one of the biggest things that we're able to teach, but also kind of partner together with other community members, organizations. I would say please go out and vote. तपाईहरु सबैजना भोट गर्न जानु होला है किनभने यो आउने इलेक्सन चाहिँ धेरै नै जरुरी छ अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ तपाईको विभिन्न लेभलको गभर्नमेन्टको भोट भइरहेको हुन्छ त्यसकारणले त्यहाँ गएर भोट गर्नु होला
As a large Asian American immigrant population, we need to make sure that our voices are heard and that we're getting the resources that we need for our communities to thrive, right? And in Chinatown, Lower East Side, that looks like more affordable housing, language access, more social services, good affordable after-school programs for our youth, and making sure that our youth are activated and engaged as well. In 2024, we're going to be preparing for the general presidential elections as well as just making sure that people are registerable and that they know that their voices are important. And it's so great to be part of the APA Voice Coalition because we can lean into each other and share tips and tricks for kind of getting folks out there and vote and kind of just share resources. And I think that's really important because community knows what community needs best, and it's great to be a part of this coalition. And make sure to go vote and register to vote if you haven't already, and good luck.
To a whole host of important issues and kind of everyday problems that our organization works to address, including things like public health, language access, community safety, and other issues that our community members struggle with every single day. In 2024, it's a really big election year, and we're going to prepare to inform our community members about the different positions that are going to be up for election so that they can make informed choices about who they want to represent their communities. We're really excited to be a part of APA Voice and work in coalition with a whole host of other organizations because we recognize that so many of our AAPI communities are working to address similar issues, and when we work together, we can have that much of a bigger impact. So yeah, I just want to share a message or encourage everyone to go vote in 2024. It might not seem like your single vote might not seem like much, but you have a whole family of people standing behind you and supporting and fighting alongside you for what you want. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Clemence So, and I represent the organization of Metropolitan Asian Deaf Association. So civic engagement is so important to our organization because we represent the Asian deaf community in the greater New York area, including New Jersey, the tri-state area, really, to make sure that, to help make Asian deaf people in the greater New York area, generally just to make their lives easier. That's our goal. And we want to educate our community about the political process. We want to educate them about their rights. We want to collaborate with other organizations so we can refer our community to other organizations who can meet their needs. We are focused on elections in 2024 to make sure that deaf people have sign language access to the polling place, to make sure they know where their polling place is, to set up a lot of education in sign language accessible to our deaf community, and we can be all ready for 2024. Working here with APA Voice has been great for our organization because we want to learn about their strengths, where their power is, and where we can support them and where they can support us, and make our community overall stronger, because we can't do these things alone and have success. We are stronger together as a coalition. And of course, if you want to support our priorities, please get out there and vote in 2024.
We believe that civic engagement is a really integral pathway to building power for immigrants and for workers, and to build representation within government, to make sure that our communities are protected, they're served, and that the material conditions upon which that they live in currently can be improved, and we can create a future that really treats and respects our communities with dignity as they deserve. Working in coalition is super important, and it's critical to ensuring that we can really build collective power, as the Asian American community is so diverse. And of course, there's a lot of importance in each of our communities and the diversity of our communities, within our communities. But ultimately, for us to be able to really move the systems of government and systems of power and really build power for ourselves, we have to work in coalition with one another. If you are a US citizen, it's so important to go out and vote, and not only is it important for you to go out and vote, it's important for you to understand the issues that impact you in your life and vote accordingly. And even if you're not a US citizen and cannot vote, it's equally important for you to be engaged civically. There's so many different opportunities for you to be engaged in civic engagement beyond just being a US citizen. There's room for everyone. It's a collective effort. So get engaged.
여러분 안녕하세요. 민권센터의 최선영입니다. 이번 2024년도 선거 꼭 참여하시고 어떤 질문이나 문의 있으시면 꼭 민권센터 연락해 주세요. 718-460-5600 감사합니다.
Are aware, we all understand that because of presidential.
There to help people know how the ballot works and make sure that the information is accurate so it doesn't get returned. It's a great way to support our community. And what about this?
So why, out of all different races and different people, why are Asians such a small number represented actually in government? Things like doctors or lawyers, and they feel like politics, that's not for me. But I do think other races have become more involved in the actual political system, see themselves in the politicians, so they feel like those people don't represent me anywhere.
Obviously, as degrees, we can't go through the office, right? But we can make people feel more connected to the political process. And we know that our work actually has an impact in some ways. For example, right, when Accord in 2011 was instrumental in making sure that Congressional District 6 became an Asian plurality district, right? whether older people came out to vote. But we know that isn't just about age, right? Because for the general population,
reach out.
When we target community like that, when we work for the electoral hours, we have to think, right? So what motivates people to vote? And also we need to think like maybe they are already aware of the election, and because they're more educated, they are higher income, maybe. So the primary itself is April 2nd, right? And then just like all election 10 days before, that's the election deadline, and then like the week before early voting. So again, this is the primary. That means if you are one of those people that do not have a party affiliation, then like you should not participate in this because you're not allowed. Which is our job. This won't be hard. Again, this is only the primary, so not everyone can participate unfortunately. So have saved that time, and then like the big election, the general election, right? So this has everything. The president knows the ballot measure, so this will be the big one. So it's important for us to think ahead, mark everything on your calendar, and think how much resources do I have for this whole year?
on February 3rd,